and educate about an issue that is profoundly important to our veterans community, one that is often unrealized by a lot of Americans. Many, many veterans are ineligible for VA health care. They are like the rest of everyday Americans. They depend on the ACA for health care insurance or their employer. And the stark fact is that a failure to extend the health care tax credits will mean 267,000 veterans will go without health care insurance because of skyrocketing premiums that affect all Americans who buy their health care insurance through the ACA marketplace. These 267,000 veterans need this insurance just as all the rest of Americans do. They will find it as unaffordable as all the rest of Americans who will be stranded without affordable health care insurance. It is a travesty and a tragedy that in America, 267,000 veterans will be denied health care, essentially because of a failure to extend the health care tax credit subsidies. One of the results of the failure to extend these tax credits may be, in fact, an increased use of VA health care. A lot of veterans who now are eligible but choose to rely on the ACA marketplace may go to VA health care. And one really staggering and frightening fact to me is that every 1% increase in use by veterans of VA health care produces $2.6 billion in additional costs. That's $2.6 billion that right now is not in the budget, and in fact, the cuts and firings and furloughs and contract cancellations resulting from this VA secretary's draconian actions to reduce the numbers and even quality of VA healthcare make it virtually impossible for our VA healthcare system to accommodate that deluge of veterans that may result from the failure to extend the tax care credits. So we face a real crisis, a perfect storm for veterans. Medicare threats, Medicaid cuts, failure to extend the tax credits are combining to drive veterans out of health care or to the VA healthcare system, which cannot afford to provide the health care that they need. And so there is really no excuse, zero excuse for a failure to extend these health care tax credits, because veterans will suffer, all Americans will, but veterans particularly will bear the brunt of that failure of Congress if there is inaction between now and the end of the year. There ought to be bipartisan support for our veterans. There usually is, and I call on my Republican colleagues to join us. We need their votes. Republicans promised that there would be a vote on extending the health care tax credits. The blame is on them if there's no vote or if the vote fails, and they will be held accountable, not only by everyday Americans, but all of our veterans who will suffer particularly as a result. With that, let me turn it over to Congressman Takano.